Toyota drops its DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion support. How and will this affect NASCAR?
3, 2, 1.
What's up, everyone? Hope everybody out there is off to a great week. Got the Roval coming up this weekend, so hope everybody out there is excited about some racing action at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I myself will be out there in the garage area and on pit road, so if you see me out there, I'll most likely be in a That Racing Show shirt, so if you see me out there, give me a what's up. Let's kick it for a minute and have a good time at Charlotte Motor Speedway. But let's get to this topic right here, and there's different aspects I'm going to include in this. But the topic here is that Toyota announced this week that it is backing away from its DEI, its diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. And it also contributes to the LGBTQ community and backing away from its pride sponsorships and things like that. So we're going to talk about that. Also talk about NASCAR's involvement in this, and also something else that I run across that was kind of strikingly interesting to me in many different ways. But yeah, let's just get to this right here with everything. And reason, you can ask what does this have to do with NASCAR? And this is very simple because NASCAR and Toyota are very involved together. And media jumped right out there and included NASCAR into these topics right here. As you can see, different Newsweek articles here that really got into this. Now, let's jump into a Newsweek article here where it says NASCAR's automotive partner Toyota has announced that it will stop sponsoring LGBTQ events after coming under attack from an anti-DEI activist on social media for its woke initiatives. Now, no doubt, that's true. It's reality. It's everything out there. Now, I want to go to this article right here that was on Yahoo. And it says, Bloomberg notes that Toyota reportedly announced that it will stop sponsoring LGBTQ events a week after anti-DEI activist Robbie Starbuck started a social media campaign against the company calling for customer boycotts because of its support of the LGBTQ events and other initiatives. Toyota first attempted to deflect his comments. Basically goes on to say that Toyota was saying that this was basically an employee group that started all this stuff. However, a week later, they shut down their initiatives with this. So that was the pertainment to that right there. Now, interestingly, this Robbie Starbuck, he's been on this on social media, attacking different places, and you can take a look at this guy right here. But I'm just very interested in this right here because this follows Ford, who also did the same thing after the comments from Starbuck here. And Ford was actively involved in this as well. You can see right here with their Ford Bronco. They also had the Ford Raptor out there in rainbow colors. So Ford did the same thing and backed out of this. Now, the thing that they backed out of so much is it's a thing called the Human Rights Campaign rankings and also corporate culture surveys. Now, this is something I didn't even know existed, but obviously it does. And interesting, last year, Toyota was number one. They were 100% on these rankings. And then this year, it changes and they go a different direction. So that leaves General Motors as the only manufacturer in NASCAR who is still involved with sponsorship like this and promotions. And you can see right here that GM is actively involved with this. You can see this ad right here where it looks like it's a card, kind of looks like a kid coming out to say that it's coming out. So that's a very evident ad right there. You can also take a look at this picture here. You can see this Cadillac with the different logos and things on this. And interestingly enough, Lowe's, Ford, Harley Davidson, there's different companies that have backed out of this after these reports coming under scrutiny by these guys. But they have all jumped out of these ratings basically and stepped aside with everything. Now, interestingly too, this brings me to NASCAR and their involvement with it. They are obviously very involved, as you can see right here, with supporting this, trying to build a fan base, including everybody in it. And man, I wanted to do my research on this just to see what NASCAR's involvement was in this, because I really wasn't that familiar with it. And just through my Google search, interestingly, one of the first things that popped up was a website called BoingBoing. And that was interesting alone in this name, but it says NASCAR has its own Pride merchandise. NASCAR. And that was interesting to me because I'm personally never seen anything like this right here. But the article went on to say, known for its thunderous races and diehard fans, NASCAR is an unexpected ally of the LGBTQ community. Surprisingly, they have been supporting the LGBTQ community dating back to at least 2020. The stock car racing organization even has Pride merch that includes images of rainbow checkered flags and race cars. Perhaps the most striking piece in this collection are the tees emblazoned with the words NASCAR. The design is more than just a clever play on NASCAR's name. It's a direct nod to Yaz, a word that has roots in queer culture. So I had to go in there and look and check this out and find out. And in fact, on NASCAR's store, on their website, they do have these different shirts. As you can see, this one right here, that does say NASCAR Racing. They removed the NASCAR with replacing it with Yaz. You can also see here, I am NASCAR with the rainbow colors, which obviously NASCAR's had kind of that rainbow colorism in its logo forever. But they kind of spruced it up a little bit right there for that one. And then also this one right here that says love wins with the rainbow. You can see NASCAR down below there in the logo. And, interestingly enough too, with this, there's been some other involvement. As you can see right here, Alex Bowman getting involved with this right here. It made news with it as well. And you can see the hood right here with the display of that. So obviously NASCAR is really involved with this. And again, General Motors is still on board with this. So it's going to be interesting to see if these groups attack General Motors and NASCAR to get them to move the needle on this in any different direction. But I want to go back to this BoingBoing website here for a moment, because following that article, there was comments. And this was one of the comments on there that said, hopefully we'll have a bunch of megas and rednecks have their brains freeze up. The whatever the hell that word is of love of NASCAR and NASCAR celebrating pride should cause overload. So if you take a look right there, there's a word redneck. A word that's being used in this case offensively. And also, if you take a look at this one, it says, I think the extra delightful part is that I'd be willing to bet some rednecks are going to have no idea that Yaz is a gay thing and buy the shirts, and then have to performatively burn and or shoot them while wearing hair shirts to cleanse themselves. So once again, this was another attack, kind of using the term redneck in a bad manner. And it's crazy because I went to look this up just to kind of define a little bit more of what redneck is. And the first thing that popped up was Wikipedia. And it says right here, redneck is a derogatory term mainly, but not exclusively applied to white Americans, perceived to be crass and unsophisticated, closely associated with rural whites of the southern United States. So that just kind of says that it means that it's a bad term. But then we go to here. It also follows up through going, its modern usage is similar to the meaning cracker, especially regarding Texas, Georgia, and Florida. Hillbilly, especially regarding Appalachia and the Ozarks, and white trash, but without the last term's suggestion of morality. So again, just makes it look like that's a very derogatory word to say. And I'm going to use this last one that says, in Britain, the Cambridge Dictionary definition states a poor white person without education, especially one living in the countryside in the southern U.S. who is believed to have prejudiced ideas and beliefs. This word is usually considered offensive. People from the white South sometimes jocularly, I guess that's the word, another word I don't really want to use, but call themselves rednecks as inside humor. So again, let's just get to the real point here outside of everything else. This word is being used, redneck is being used by a certain group to be derogatory towards a different group, but is takes offense to so many other things. So I think we need a level playing field here with this right here, especially if people are going to be involved with NASCAR, to just be inclusive of everybody and not everybody bicker and fuss and label so much, because that's just not cool, man. My personal insight, if you're a race fan, you're a race fan, and I love that. But obviously we got websites out here calling race fans rednecks, and that's not cool either. It's racing, it's supposed to be fun, and man, I know a lot of people's input on this from reading my own posts or comments on my own episodes, plus other different articles and comment boards that I read about people with their ideas of the DEI, everything else that goes along with this. Personally, me, I'm not going to lie to you. When I first started thinking about it or saw it, DEI is Dale Earnhardt Incorporated to me. So I had to actually go look and see what the hell all this meant. That's how old school and country redneck I am. But anyways, I want your input on this, and let's keep this cool. Let's keep this a cool conversation right here. But how do you feel about Toyota backing out of this? Do you think NASCAR and General Motors will follow this, or will this be a boost for General Motors, because now everybody's going to go to their side, and well, by what it says on these message boards, they're no longer going to be buying Fords and Toyotas. So you think it's going to boost sales for GM, or will everything just work its way out? But anyways, don't have comments down below. And man, once again, hope you have a great weekend. If you see me at a racetrack, give me a shout out there, and let's kick it a minute. But anyways, above all, hope everybody out there is having a great week. And as always, we'll see you at the checkered flag.